Welcome to our deep dive on the deportation paradox faced by people with a final order of removal who cannot be deported. Today, we will connect the dots between legal limbo, employment authorization, fee waivers, and the critical risks that come with filing. To start, we will set expectations with a clear disclaimer before outlining our agenda. This presentation is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Every case is different, and outcomes vary based on facts, timing, and jurisdiction. Always consult a licensed attorney or Department of Justice accredited representative. Fees, processing times, and policies change. Verify details on official government websites before filing. With that context, let's preview our roadmap. Our journey will cover the paradox of final orders of removal and what legal limbo means, the basics of getting an EAD through Form I-765, using fee waivers with Form I-912, the hidden risks related to OSUP compliance, identity verification best practices, a practical step-by-step roadmap, short quizzes, and key takeaways. Now, let's move into the paradox itself to establish the problem we're solving. Many individuals receive a final order of removal but cannot be deported because the receiving country refuses return or the person is functionally stateless. Supreme Court precedent generally limits detention when removal is not reasonably foreseeable, often around 6 months, but the individual can remain in the United States without legal permission to work. This creates extreme hardship, including poverty and homelessness. Next, we will define the path to lawful employment. This timeline illustrates the typical arc after a removal order. Initially, the government seeks travel documents and evaluates the likelihood of removal. If removal is not reasonably foreseeable, detention generally cannot continue indefinitely, and the person may be released under an order of supervision. OSUP requires strict compliance, such as scheduled check-ins. Once released, the individual needs lawful work authorization to achieve stability. With that foundation, let's discuss how the Employment Authorization Document fits in. The Employment Authorization Document is requested using Form I-765. This card allows a person to work legally, receive wages, and pay taxes. The filing fee is currently around the stated amount in our context, but fees change, so always verify with official sources. Processing times vary by category and service center. Up next, we'll see how fee waivers can make filing possible for those with no income. This table summarizes relevant items. Form I-765 is used to request work authorization and currently has a substantial fee. Form I-912 is used to request a fee waiver and has no fee. The order of supervision is not a form. It refers to a supervision regime requiring scheduled check-ins and compliance. As we proceed, we'll focus on how to build a fee waiver request properly. Before filing, verify that the applicant meets fee waiver criteria such as extreme financial hardship or income at or below the federal poverty level. Collect proof such as shelter letters, statements showing low or no funds, and any relevant documentation establishing household size. Provide a concise but thorough explanation of the inability to pay and the harm from a denial. Attach the I-912 to the I-765 in a single packet. Organize evidence logically. Keep copies, and use tracking. Next, we need to discuss the major risk factor that can turn a helpful filing into a trigger for enforcement action. Order of supervision compliance is critical. Before sending anything to immigration benefits agencies, confirm that all required check-ins have been met and that the individual is fully compliant. Filing can surface the case to enforcement systems, and in recent years, third-country deportations have been arranged despite the home country's refusal. If there is any missed check-in or uncertainty, consult qualified legal counsel before filing. With that in mind, let's test what we've learned so far. Question: what is the most important step before submitting Forms I-765 and I-912 for someone under an order of supervision? Options are: A. Pay the fee immediately to speed approval. B. Confirm strict OSUP compliance and resolve any missed check-ins. C. Mail the packet without tracking to avoid attention. Or D. Skip the fee waiver to reduce paperwork. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to confirm strict OSUP compliance and resolve any missed check-ins before filing. This reduces the risk that the filing will inadvertently trigger enforcement attention. Now let's compare what compliance versus non-compliance can look like in practice. When compliant, the applicant attends OSUP appointments on time, keeps records, and can file with relatively lower risk. When not compliant, missed check-ins and lack of documentation increase the chance that a filing will draw enforcement attention, potentially raising the risk of removal to a third country. Let's now address identity verification and professional integrity. Supporting someone whose identity or national origin is unclear requires careful verification and consistency. Avoid relying on personal funds or small organizational budgets for complex post-removal order cases. Instead, connect with reputable nonprofit organizations and legal directories that specialize in immigration. They can navigate fee waivers, confirm OSUP compliance, and balance the risks involved. To visualize how all pieces fit, we will outline a mind map of the process and stakeholders. This mind map organizes the pathway from post-order limbo to greater stability. The central node is stability after a final removal order. The legal compliance branch emphasizes OSUP check-ins, documentation, and consultation with counsel. The employment branch covers the I-765 filing steps, including biometrics and receipt tracking. Affordability focuses on the I-912 fee waiver, evidence of poverty, and a clear hardship explanation. Risk management highlights the risk of enforcement attention and third country removals, emphasizing careful timing. Identity verification encourages collecting documents and building a consistent narrative. Professional support points to nonprofit organizations and accredited representatives. Next, let's convert this into a practical checklist you can follow. This checklist offers a practical sequence. First, confirm OSUP compliance and cure any missed check-ins. Next, gather identity documents and OSUP records. Then, determine eligibility for a fee waiver and assemble poverty evidence with a clear explanation. Prepare the I-765 with the I-912 in one packet. Label exhibits, keep copies, and mail with tracking. Now, let's turn the checklist into an ordered roadmap with concrete actions. Follow these steps in order. Verify OSUP compliance and document it. Seek legal advice about timing. Build a strong evidence set covering identity, supervision, and poverty. Draft a concise hardship statement for the I-912. Complete the I-765 carefully for the correct eligibility category. Assemble the packet, make copies, and send with tracking. Monitor for receipt notices and biometrics appointments. If you receive a request for evidence, respond by the deadline with the requested documentation. Now, let's test your understanding of fee waivers. Question: which form requests a fee waiver for the I-765 filing? The options are A. Form I-130, B. Form I-912, C. Form I-589, or D. Form I-94. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is Form I-912. It is used to request a fee waiver and may be submitted with Form I-765 when the applicant qualifies based on poverty guidelines or extreme hardship. With the quizzes complete, let's crystallize the key points from today's video. These are the most important points. Ensure OSUP compliance before filing. Use I-765 for work authorization and I-912 to address fees. Understand that filings can draw enforcement attention, so timing and legal guidance are critical. Verify identity thoroughly, and document everything with clear labels and tracked mailing. Next, we will recap with a brief summary and your next steps. In summary, the deportation paradox leaves many in limbo. OSUP compliance is essential before any filing. The I-765 offers a path to lawful work, and the I-912 can remove the fee barrier for those who qualify. Work with accredited organizations that understand post-removal order complexities. Plan carefully, label exhibits, track your mailings, and respond promptly to any notices. Finally, let's close with a creative call to action. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical guides. We would also love to hear your experiences and questions in the comments, so we can cover them in future videos.